I will show you the 12 steps necessary to put the Wheelybird 2.0 with a remote control launcher together. There's 12 steps. These are the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. This tool comes in the kit. You can use a crescent wrench or a number 12. You'll need a 1/2 inch or 1/13, a 5/8 or a 1/16 a knife. Probably these are the tools. If you want to put some oil on the threads, of course you're going to need some oil. Something to cut, one zip tie, and I think I sent an extra pack by accident. I don't normally think this whole kit would come in it, but in this case we have it. It'll take you about an hour and a half or so to put it together, maybe an hour without videoing. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Step 1, this part of the frame. This is the order I'm going to do it. So 1/2 inch or 13, either one of them will work. Step number 1. Alright, step number 2, the axle. Step number 3 is the handle, and it looks like they give you a couple of options which way you want the handle to face. You could face it sideways and have the cord wind up part here. Turn it all the way around, I guess, if you wanted to. Anyway, first 3 steps, basically putting on this frame part, the base, to the thrower, the axle, and the handle. Pretty easy so far. 1/2 inch wrench or 13-inch wrench so far. Alright, step number 4 is pretty easy. There's no washers. Problem. I think there'd be a washer behind and a washer in front, but there's no washers that will fit. So it's pretty much just the tire on and putting this clip right here in place. You use a screwdriver or your wrench or this. Put the clip in, push it down. Right, it's very important to make sure this clip goes all the way down. Looks like almost like 3 sections, 3 stops. First time it hits part way down, and then you got to adjust this in the slot and push it all the way down good. Step number 5 is putting this framework here onto the trap. So you're going to have a piece of zip tie. Have to cut at some point. Might as well do it now. So here and here, go here and here, right? This part here goes into here with a couple of these bolts like that with washers. Should be a piece of cake. Alright, so step number 5 is pretty simple. You have 2 bolts and washers that you put on each side. This is the tilt part. Just screw them in. You want to tighten them down, but you know, not too tight because it has to swivel. Alright, step 5. A note for step number 5. 5/8 or 16 millimeter wrench or 5/8 wrench will do it for these. Step number 6 is this protector. This is rubber hose, polyurethane. Anyway, you've got this little piece here you screw in, and you got these right here like this that you screw in on both sides. I stretched this out last night. It was pretty tight, and let it set out all night before I did this. You don't have to. This will be step number 6. Alright, for step number 6, you can use something like this to turn this in a little faster. For step number 6, for this piece, you'll need a crescent wrench or a number 12 Millimeter and metric, I could not find a standard wrench that would fit it. Okie dokie, this is what 6 looks like. Step 6, move on to 7. For step number 7, you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. You're going to need these 4 bolts. Those are lock washers. You're going to need these 4 target rods. And they're to go right here. I'm going to put this together first. Then I'm going to put it into place. Because I have it up on the bench. If it was on the ground, I'd put these in here first. Another upgrade, this horseshoe piece is metal on here. On the other model, the older model, the non-remote model, that's plastic. Anyway, put it together on the floor. Now I'm going to put it in place. Step number 7. Step number 7 just fits over these 4 pieces that were there. Pretty easy. Alright, step number 8 is pretty easy. This spring right here goes into this part right here. And then this hooks onto here. And it goes through that hole. So, let me do that and I'll show you. Alright, on a note here, it's easier to put this part on first, onto the spring, put it through this hole, and then come back to this and put this part of the spring through that hole there. Then we got to put the handle on. Be my guess. Alright, part of 8 is this bushing. Black bushing goes through and goes in this hole. And then this goes on. And this is your spring tension right there. Alright, step number 8. Tighten this until this slack is taken out. And that's it. This is what this will look like. Your bushing's in here. You have your tightening handle, your spring. There you go. Step number 8. Step number 9 for us is going to be the remote control. Comes with a battery. You'll need to put it in here, of course. The antenna will need to go onto here. You got some Velcro that needs to be stuck up here. It looks like it might be missing something on the dial, but I'm not sure. I'll have to get to that in a minute. Alright, it's pretty straightforward. You take the pedal control off, put in the remote control piece, put in your battery, put your Velcro in place, and this is where this will stick. Right there. You put it up high enough so you can get to this, and that's about it. So that's step number 9. That's in place. Step number 10. We hooked our trap thrower up to some 12 volt, and we're going to try to pair the remote. When I plugged it in to power, I had the arm pivot around to that point. So now we're going to have to try to figure out what step 10 actually is. Step number 10, programming the remote. You have to pair these two up. So what it says to do is release, turn on the power, then release the arm. That doesn't work because it goes back to off. So just flip this up, leave it on. Push the button, the learn button here. This will come on red. You got 10 seconds to push this. So you push this, and when this light comes on blinks 3 times, you're ready to go. And then your remote works. This is, I thought maybe it missed something, but it looks like it's here. This is your delay. So you got 0 to 15 seconds. So if you wanted to throw the trap, 10 seconds after you push the button, move this over to 10 seconds, push it, set this in your pocket, pull the target. Now I'm going to read to see if there's any more adjustments need to be made before we put targets in here. So we're set up. Step number 10 out of the way. Alright, for step 11, you're to load 6 targets. this thing like a bicycle brake here is a little tough. So what you have to do is you have to release the targets before, with no targets in it, you have to hit the release button, and that lets this come back. If not, you can't do it. And then as soon as this is back, sets the targets in, turn it back on, drops the target in, and puts the brake on the other target. And that's step 11. And step 12, we'll be firing our first target. The 12th and last stage is just to release the target. Everything comes pre-adjusted and well adjusted as far as the arm and stuff goes. This jerks quite a bit when you release it here. You can put a stake right here through there if you want to. I'm just going to put my foot there while we release the target with the remote control. First target, look at that. Man, this is a good machine. Nice job. Alright, there you have it. The Wheelybird 2.0 remote control automatic trap feed, holds 50. Kids are going to have a blast with this.